Whenever she encounters high temperatures, she melts. At night, when the temperature drops too low, her entire body freezes solid. That's because she's a candle person. Only at dawn and dusk can she and her father venture outside. Ruth's mother had gone out one afternoon to gather mushrooms and was melted alive by the sun. After that, Ruth's father forbade her from going out during the day. But even so, the mischievous Ruth would often sneak out behind her father's back. This time, she had a plan to escape and watch the guardian succession ceremony. She set up mirrors in her room ahead of time so that when the sun appeared, the reflected light would warm her frozen body back to life. While her father was still thawing out, she slipped away into the shadows of the forest. As the sun and moon appeared simultaneously, the ceremony grounds were divided into light and shadow, and Ruth stood right at the boundary between them. The planet Ruth lived on was once a world without light. Then a mighty warrior appeared and caught the sun with an iron chain, while another warrior brought the moon back from the dream world. Each built a moving temple, pulling the sun and moon forward day after day in an endless cycle, and so day and night were born. Over time, people came to call these warriors guardians. Whenever a guardian's life neared its end, they would seek a successor to take their place. The current guardian's two apprentices, Flame King and Night King, were the top candidates. Flame King was a muscular rock person, brimming with confidence, never missing a chance to show off his charm in front of women. Night King was far more low-key, but was equally certain that the guardian position was in the bag. Ruth had defied her father's orders just to catch a glimpse of Flame King in person. To the crowd's roaring cheers, the current Sun Guardian shuffled out, raised a mirror in her hands, and reflected a beam of light onto Flame King, a sign that the sun had chosen him as the new guardian. But things didn't go so smoothly for Night King. The spirit beast representing the moon didn't choose her. Instead, it picked a small dark elf named Blue, who had been hiding in the bushes. The crowd erupted in shock, but the guardian chose to honor the moon's decision and announced Blue as the new guardian. Night King was clearly not happy about it, but with the decision finalized, she stormed off in anger. This gave the lava monster lurking beneath the earth an opening. Desperate to claim the sun it had long coveted, the monster sent out a mesmerizing glowing serpent to find the bitter and resentful Night King and stir up trouble. Night King fell for it. She turned to the dark side and allied with the lava monster, vowing to seize the sun and moon from the new guardians. Meanwhile, the guardian was showing Blue around the moon temple. At the center of the temple stood a glowing sacred tree, home to a group of white spiders whose silk threads connected to the moon. By plucking these threads like strings, the guardian could control the temple and pull the moon along. The old guardian told Blue the story of the moon's origins, how it had come from the dream world, carved and shaped by the very first guardian and brought through the dream gate inside the temple. After telling Blue all of this, the old guardian stepped outside, and her body began to transform until she became a tall and magnificent moon tree. Only then did Blue realize this place was a graveyard for past guardians, who all became moon trees after death, continuing to watch over the land. The old guardian had found peace, but she left the inexperienced Blue completely at a loss. He tried to control the temple's movement but, with no experience whatsoever, sent it careening out of control. Desperate to fix it and ignoring the spider's warnings, Blue started wildly plucking the silk threads, which only made things worse. The temple veered wildly off course, causing massive destruction on the ground below. Even worse, the threads connecting the moon began snapping one by one from the friction. As the moon teetered on the verge of falling, Blue desperately grabbed at the threads, but the moon broke free anyway. Flying off into the sky as the last thread snapped. Without its divine power, the temple crashed and collapsed on the spot. On the other side, Flame King had just witnessed all of this when he heard Night King's voice in his ear. She egged him on to go teach Blue a lesson. Flame King thought, on his very first day, this guy had already caused this much chaos, he absolutely couldn't let it slide. So, ignoring his rock person companion's objections, he abandoned the Sun Temple and took off. What he didn't know was that the moment he left, two little demons working for the lava monster slipped into the temple and stole the sun.
Lane! What are you doing back there? Feels like I'm carrying this whole thing myself!
Who is the prettiest flower in the land? It is you.
And Ruth, hiding nearby, saw the whole thing. Meanwhile, Blue came up with an idea to retrieve the moon. He hurled a spider at it with all his might. The moment the spider touched the moon, it rapidly wrapped threads around it, then tugged on the line to signal Blue below. Against all odds, Blue got the moon back, but he had no idea how to put it back up in the sky. Just then, Flame King showed up uninvited. Faced with his accusations, Blue tried his best to cover up his mistakes. Then Ruth's voice came from outside the temple. She told Flame King that the sun had been stolen. Flame King was horrified and rushed back to check, but it was too late. All that was left was the collapsed temple and a sky growing darker in the distance. The lava monster, now in possession of the sun, immediately snuffed out its blazing flames and ordered the two little demons to guard it and wait for it to die out completely. Fed up with Blue's incompetence, Flame King snatched the moon from his hands and gave it to Night King to guard. Devastated, Blue turned and ran into the nearby forest.